Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Raya is coming really soon. So yes, as you've read the title, this is yet another makeup tutorial from me. This makeup tutorial is going to be a one brand makeup tutorial. And it is your favorite affordable makeup brand, which is Wet n Wild. I'm collaborating with Wet n Wild to create this affordable Raya makeup look that I hope is something that you guys can achieve. So without further ado, let's get on with the tutorial. Alrighty then, first and foremost, primer. It so happens that Wet n Wild has a new priming spray, and this is the Photofocus Rose 3-in-1 Primer Water. So it preps, sets, and refreshes your face. To create a smooth base, I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Photofocus Face Primer in Matte. For foundation, I will be using the Wet n Wild Photofocus Stick Foundation in Soft Beige. And then I'm going to try using this Wet n Wild sponge to blend out this foundation. I think that blended in pretty well, but this foundation has a pretty sheer coverage, so I'm gonna use a concealer to cover my blemishes. And for that, I'm gonna use the Photofocus concealer in a light medium beige. Now, of course, we're gonna set that in place, and to do that I will be using the Wet n Wild Photofocus Banana Loose Setting Powder. It comes with a puff, so I'm gonna use this puff to set everything in place. Let's see if this works. I think I can get a more even distribution of the powder if I use my powder brush, so I'm gonna use that. I can move on to the brows. The eyebrow pencil that I will be using today is the Wet n Wild UltimateBrow Retractable Brow Pencil in the shade Medium Brown. Done with the brows, now we can move on to the eyes. Alright, so now I'm gonna take the eyeshadow primer. Of course, I'm gonna use this one from Wet n Wild, and obviously this is going to go on your eyelids. I'm gonna take a little bit of that loose powder that I used before from the brush, and I'm gonna set that eyeshadow primer. Now for the fun part, eyeshadow. And the eyeshadow palette that I'm using today is a very fun eyeshadow palette. It's the Wet n Wild ColorIcon, not a basic peach eyeshadow palette. So first I'm gonna take this orange shade right here. This is going to be my transition shade. Okay, so now that we've laid down our transition shade, I'm gonna take this really nice bright blue color just on my finger, and I'm gonna apply it on the center of my eyelids, like really at the center. I'm gonna take this darker brown shade down here. I'm gonna apply that on the inner and outer corners of my eyes. Maybe to add a little bit more depth, I'm gonna use the darkest shade in this palette and apply that right at the outer corner and inner corner. And you gotta be really careful as to not to move that dark color around too much, because you might make your eye look heavier than it should be. And then we're gonna take back the orange shade that we used before and apply that on the lower lash line. Now we can curl our lashes and move on to mascara. For the mascara that I'll be using today is the Wet n Wild Mega Volume Waterproof Mascara. This is actually the first time I'm using it because this is brand new. So let's see if this is good. Now we're gonna do a little bit of eyeliner. The eyeliner that I will be using is the Wet n Wild Proline Graphic Marker Eyeliner. It has this angled tip. Now I'm gonna put on some falsies and some colored contacts off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, now I am back, and now it's time to do some contouring, some bronzing. I'm gonna use this Wet n Wild ColorIcon bronzer. Now we can move on to blusher. The blusher that they gave me this time is the new Blazing Berry blusher. It's nice and shimmery, but it's a little bit too dark for my complexion, I think. So I'm gonna use my favorite Wet n Wild ColorIcon blush in the shade Mellow Wine. And then for highlight, I want to use the Wet n Wild Megaglo highlighting powder in the shade Golden Flower Crown. I'm gonna apply this on my cheekbones, the bridge and tips of my nose, inner corners of my eyes, brow bone, and also Cupid's bow. Alright, now I am going to line my lips using this Perfectpout gel lip liner in the shade Bear to Comment. And then for the lips, I'm gonna use the new Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit High Shine Lipstick in the shade Cedar Later. And then for the very last step, we're gonna set everything in place with the Wet n Wild Photofocus Natural Finish Setting Spray. And we're done! Alrighty then, this is it. This is the final look, and I am so happy that I'm able to create this bomb full face makeup with just using Wet n Wild products. And as you guys know, Wet n Wild is a very affordable makeup brand, so I do highly recommend their products to you guys. All of the details on this makeup, including my falsies, my contact lenses that I use today, my shawl, and how to style this shawl style, everything will be listed in the description box below. So please do check that out. If you don't already know, you can get Wet n Wild products at their website, at Sasa, and also at selected Watson stores. Alright, and that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, as always, you can click on the subscribe button below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time, inshallah. Selamat Hari Raya, Eid Mubarak. Bye-bye!